Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear Dhamma friends, we are studying 37 Factors of Enlightenment. And last week we talked about feelings. So, Satipatthana, the foundation of mindfulness, is very important to study and practice. Why I explained last week to see the feelings isolatedly, I'm going to try to explain that. Like, if you see the process of what happens in our mind, once we see the form, the feeling arises, and immediately we work on our thoughts regarding that particular thing. So we have less time to process or understand that what kind of feeling was that. Like when we do the breathing meditation, you cannot understand the breath is longer or shorter unless you have practiced for a long time. Because if you just start today the breathing meditation and you will say, I am having longer breath in, longer breath out, or shorter breath in, shorter breath out, then it will be the illusion that your mind is telling you, because you do not know that what shorter breath means, because you have never felt it. You have never observed that for a long time. When you have a long time practice, then you will have understanding, yes, compared to my other times, or in this time of period, this is my shorter breath. If you see that when you breathing longer breath in, then you will have that, yes, in this moment I am having longer breath in, longer breath out. That depends when you practice for a long time. In the same way, when you are looking at your feelings, that what kind of feeling I'm having in this moment. So if you don't look at for a long time, then your mind will rush. Okay, I have this feeling and I'm now moving on. So observing, understanding this feeling, that how it is, how it arises in our life. We should be mindful to look at that. Because it's a sukham vedanam vediyam iti pajanati. So when you have the happy feeling, that you be mindful, usually we are, but immediately we move on to have another feeling to come and affect us. We don't hold that one feeling, because then when you have unhappy feeling, that also we rush. Once we have the feeling, without understanding that, we immediately process it further. I don't want this, in that way. We rush very fast. So observing the feelings, how it arises, that is important when you do the Vedana Anupassana. Samisang Sukhang or Niramisang Dukkhang, those kind of feeling. Yes, you can understand the happy feeling. You understand the sad feeling, unhappy feeling. But when it goes Samisang Sukham, Niramisang Sukham, Niramisang Dukkha, to understand that feeling, you have to be patient to observe that for a long time. I think so. Everyone was listening when the leader says, memorize the verses. It is more helpful because once you have that feeling or sensation, immediately the Pali words comes to your mind or the verses come to your mind. So you become more familiar, yes, what you are feeling or what you are thinking. So yes, that's really good advice. Uh, so try to memorize that also. So once you once you understand the feeling, looking at your mind, it becomes more easier. So today in this class, we were going to try to understand a little bit of chitta, how it is. Supreme Buddha says, Katancha bhikkhave bhikkhu chitte chittanupassi viharati. And how, monk, does bhikkhu abides contemplating mind as mind? Ida bhikkhave bhikkhu saragam chittam va saragam chittanti pajanati. Here, a bhikkhu understand mind affected by lust as mind affected by lust. So, when you have a lust, bhikkhu understand that I am having lustful mind in this moment. Then how this lust has arrived? Because of your eyes, ear, nose, tongue, body. Because of them, because of this sense faculties, this lust has arisen. So, for arising this lust, what was the initial thing? The feeling. Because you felt something with this uh, sense faculties, it transformed, it evolved as a lust. Because feeling is just a simple feeling. When once you understand that what kind of feeling I am having, then based on that feeling, the lust arises. So Supreme Buddha says, Ida bhikkhave bhikkhu saraga. When you have the lustful mind, then you understand I am having lustful mind in this moment. Then vitaragang va chittam vitaraganti pajanati. When you have mind which is not lustful, that time you understand I am not having lustful mind in this moment. So this raga, it's definitely developed by this eyes, ear, nose, tongue, and body. But regarding what? Regarding forms, regarding sound, regarding odors, regarding tangibles, taste. Your lustful mind arises because of these forms, what you see in front of you. Regarding them, it develops. But the feeling arises because of contact, and this feeling transform into the lust. So we have to be mindful. This lustful feeling what I'm having is regarding what? When you are not having lustful mind, then also you understand, because that feeling is also attached. That feeling also arises because your mind was not engaged in this moment with this kind of sensation, feeling you did not have. So the lust wasn't there. You have to be mindful of that too. When you are continuously associating with this all kind of feelings, then you will have the lustful mind. But when you sit down for meditation, when you try to isolate your mind, in that mind, at that time, what kind of feeling arises? Those feelings you cannot see as a lustful feeling. So that is a difference. You have to see continuously, not just once it arises and it goes. It happens continuously. So what state of mind you have in this moment, you have to be mindful that. Just accept, not just you don't have to process what kind of mind or what kind of feeling you're feeling or how your mind is reacting. No, just be mindful. Yes, in this moment I am having this. The flavors means like you're eating ice cream. Just be mindful. I'm eating ice cream. But thinking of flavors, you can see later. Because when we prepare that I want to eat ice cream, from home we don't decide that I am going to have the chocolate, vanilla, or that. You just say it at home, yes, I am going for eating ice cream. And then you go to the shop and then you decide what kind of I have to. So in the same way, when you are looking at feeling and mind, just observe this kind of feeling and mind I am having in this moment. Then Supreme Leader says, Sadosang va chitta, sadosang chittanti pajanati. Because of forms, sounds, smell or odors, taste or tangibles, because of them, when your mind get conflicted or what you call negative points about this and some order you don't like, then what will happen? You develop hateful feeling. So because of this, what it develop in your mind. So when you have the anger toward or hatred, you should understand this big to understand that this moment I am having hateful thoughts or hateful feeling in this moment. When you are not having hateful feeling regarding this faculties, sense faculties, then you might be mindful that I am not having hateful feeling in this moment. So when you have the desire or lust, you be mindful. When you have hate feeling, then be mindful. Vita dosangma chitta. When you are not having this feeling, hatred, be mindful of that too. Then Supreme Buddha say, Samoham chittam, samoham chittanti pajanati. So the mind is delusional, So the mind when have delusional thoughts. How can we say the delusional thought? It's you are delusional. We say sometimes only when we are, someone is creating something in their mind, but that same feeling we are also having in our day-to-day life. The delusional thoughts and how this. So continuously our mind develops, something we get from the society, something we feel, and we try to develop the thoughts of regarding this feeling or sensation. Like what? Oh, these feelings I'm having, it's excellent. This feeling going to last a longer time, This is good feeling. This is super, This is happy feeling, This is my feeling. Like this, like regarding that feeling, regarding that thing, what you feel, you develop the theories about this is a permanent, this is going to long last, this is me, this is mine, this arises because of me, what I did. So attachment and thinking more than it's needed. Such a thought is called delusional. So, because we know that nothing is permanent. So everything is impermanent, changing all the time. Once you do something good and you feel happy, that is also temporary. Based on the first feeling arise, the happiest feeling, that is there. But later on, that we feel the happiest feeling, how it felt to us. That's all we do for longer time, you know. So that also changes, but we don't understand that. And because of that, we feel it. It is a permanent. It is going to long last. You know, this is because of that we feel it. We feel this is me. This is mine. Some of the time, for the unpleasant feeling also, for the hateful feeling also, we feel, oh, my life is like this. This all the suffering. This all the pain. I am worthy of it. You know, this is my life. This is me. That is also delusional. So Samohang chittam, samohang chittanti pajanati. When you are having this delusional mind in this moment, because understand delusional mind as a delusional mind. So we should also try to understand that when the delusional mind is there, then when you are not having delusional mind, that time also we have to understand, like when for regarding any feeling or sensation or any thoughts, what kind of thing will come to your mind, or this time will pass. This is not permanent. This is not me. This is not mine. And we just look at that thoughts or feelings as it is. We don't process, we don't make them to bound with our life. And that kind of feeling or that kind of mind, we can call that evolved or finished, or it does not have the delusion, you know. So lust, hatred, and delusion. These feelings are easier for to be mindful. Or when you are not having lustful mind, when you are not having hatredful mind, when you are having not delusional mind, or delusional mind is a little bit difficult to understand, but rest of the two things, it's we can see directly, continuously, that how it is. When you are not having hateful mind, then you can say, yes, I do not have hateful. Sankittam va chittam, sankittam chittanti pajanati. Sankita, when you are practicing meditation, on that time, you feel sleepy or drowsiness. Because of that, you are unable to practice. So what kind of mind you have in this moment is that. So you have the sleepiness, drowsiness, and unable. Your mind is completely filled with that. You know, sometimes you try to, even you're working, even you do when you are working, even in that moment also you feel I'm feeling lazy, you know. So the mind is already built. You prepare, yes, I have to finish your work, but your mind is filled with this, and that's why you couldn't do, or you cannot do the work. So in that moment you have to understand, I am having sankittam chittam. So with the sleepiness or drowsiness or laziness, that whatever feeling or whatever thoughts arise in your mind regarding that, this bhikkhu is become mindful about it. Vikhitam chittam, vikhitam chittam tipajanati. When you are unable to concentrate, like moment and moment your mind is transferring from here to there, and unable to stay in one proper place. So whatever you are doing, you know, the continuous reels of thoughts and process arise in that moment. You don't understand what is happening in this particular moment. That time you can say, yes, I am having vikittam chittam. So that you can understand. So one by one, this also means looking at your mind. It's more harder because you are looking by mind. It's when you are seeing the feelings, You see the feelings by your mind. Now you're feeling or you're seeing your mind also. So the mind also looking by mind, it's a little bit hard because once you pay attention, it changes, it transforms into something else. Because this mind is very cunning and clever. It likes to show the delusion, you know, like once you feel that I'm feeling happy, maybe your mind play tricks. You're not happy. See how much trouble you have or how much difficulties you have. That kind of thing your mind shows. But once you concentrate for long time, like just be mindful. Don't rush behind this feel. Don't rush behind the mind and how it does. Because mind never sleeps. So 24/7, you will have to suffer because of mind. Just observe in this moment, I'm having these thoughts. Just observe, I'm having this kind of feeling, sensation. That's all regarding mind. So, Sankirtan, when you feel drowsiness, feeling dizzy or lazy, be mindful, yes, this kind of mind I'm having in this moment. When you have the Vikittan Chitta, like uh, rushing continuously towards something else, there is no slightest moment stopped. That time you can say, yes, I'm having Vikittan Chitta. Some of the time that happens. Thoughts never stops to in one particular object. You know, this moment that you can call time, I'm having Vikittan Chittam in this moment. Then Supreme Buddha says, Mahaggatang va chittam, Mahaggatang chittanti pajanati. Mahaggatang chittam, when you are practicing Satasatipatthana, for foundation of mindfulness, in that time doing samatha, that developing mindfulness, and vipassana, contemplating, that time your mind is free from five hindrances. Okay, that time you can call my mind is not bound with the five hindrances. Such a mind can call mahaggatang chitta. Then amaggatang chittang, it means these five hindrances is affecting your life. Then it says, Sauttarang va chittan, Sauttarang chittanti pajanati. Sauttarang chittan, it means when you are practicing meditation or concentrated mind, but if not, it is not having for longer time, it's not attached, it's not tainted the jhana or samadhi yet. It hasn't arise completely. Like you're practicing for meditate, and then you're doing it, but you don't see that yet I'm not attained any concentrated mind completely yet. So before that, before that state, you can say, I haven't attained it, the samadhi, I haven't attained the concentrated mind. Such a mind called Sauttarangva Chitta. Then Anuttarangva Chitta, Anuttarang Chittanti Vajanati. So Prabhupada says, when you have destroyed the five hindrances, in that moment you have the mind has developed in concentration. Your mind is completely concentrated. So any thought you contemplate on your mind, like anitya you are thinking, you see it properly in that way. So your mind has become something to identify, understand properly. That kind of mind called Anuttarang va chittam, Anuttarang chittanti pajanati. Then comes Samahitang va chittam, Samahitang chittanti pajanati. Samahitang chittam, then with the mindfulness and the vipassana, with this thing, your mind has concentrated such a thing, you understand that I am having concentrated mind in this moment. So when you look at this, how it feels, that first when you have lustful mind, hatredful mind, and delusional mind, these are the things that we are doing with open eyes, with the worldly things continuously. So, whatever we see in this world, whatever we hear, whatever we taste, feel, tangibles, these things develops one's lust, hatred, or delusion. But when you are isolate yourself from these worldly things and practice meditation or develops the path of enlightenment, in that moment different kind of mind arise, and that is this Supreme Buddha explains, like sankittam vachittam sankittam chittanti pajanati, vikittam vachittam vikittam chittanti pajanati, mahagatam vachittam mahagatam chittanti pajanati, amaghatam vachittam amaghatam chittanti pajanati, sauttaram vachittam sauttaram chittanti pajanati, anuttaram vachittam anuttaram chittanti pajanati. So this mind has developed when you are practicing meditation. So up to this moment we were doing meditation to develop concentration. So even in that concentration has a different state of mind. Like most of time when we doing meditation, it comes to our mind. Yesterday was a good day. Good day. Today I'm not feeling better. Today I'm not doing the practice very well. So what happened? You are doing the same meditation. You are doing the same thing. You're sitting in same place. But what if the result change? Changes of mind. The feeling in this moment about mind, how your mind is feeling, is different. So being mindful of mind that I'm having these differences today, that is called Chittanupasana. So for looking at this, look like, yes, in this moment I am having completely developed mind regarding this meditation. Anuttaram Chitta. There is no hindrances. There is no obstacles. This moment, my mind is clear. And it's helping, it's developing, it's promoting. It's not bothering any other thoughts. It's not coming, arising any other thoughts. That called Anuttaram Chitta. Then based on that Anuttaram Chitta, which is forcing you to go forward, you develop Samahita, concentrated mind. Based on that, when you do not have the hindrances, when your mind is leaning toward meditative state, then Samahitam Chittanti Pajanati. In this moment, I am having concentrated mind. Concentrated mind, I am having this moment, person, understand. Or if you do not have concentrated mind, Asamahitam Chittanti Pajanati. So when you do not have the concentrated mind, you can say, I am not having concentrated mind in this moment. Then Supreme Buddha mentioned, Vimuttam Vimuttam Chittanti Pajanati. Avimuttam Chittanti Pajanati. This one we cannot have. This last one, it's hard because it is for the enlightened monks or beings who have attained enlightenment. They can understand the Vimuttam Chitta. I have liberated mind, liberated from all the suffering, liberated from this world. That only can felt by enlightened beings. But Avimuttanva Chitta, I am not liberated yet. Some of the time that our mind shows you have concentrated mind, you have attained a certain state, then your mind is liberated. You're freed. So many people understand that. So many people feel that. But if you are not liberated yet, then I am not liberated with this. I do not have liberated mind. Such a feeling you can develop. So this bhikkhu, what he sees, the mind, it divides this mind into up to that. So looking at lust, looking at hatred, looking at delusion becomes easier, to identify them because our majority of time is engaged to see this. So how to do the practice about the mind, how to see the chitta in that, we have to see, take time, longer time to process. First, identify the feelings. Based on that feeling, sensation arise. So lustful, hatredful, or delusional, or understanding delusional, it will take time. Like for lustful feeling. So desire, it's not just a lust, it's about complete desire. You want to hear that same thing again and again. You want to taste that thing again and again, or you want to feel that again. Then you can say, yes, I'm having lustful mind in this moment. Hmm? So we have that, we do feel continuously every day. And oh, that's, or some of the time you may have noticed people like to repeat their songs. Once they repeat one song, they listen and they repeat it again. Why? Because the sensation, what the song gives them, that is a lustful mind in that moment. Some of the time, the hatred also very easy to find. Never, we taste something and we don't like, how we make our face, or something like we throw up, not like, not wanting that. Such at that moment, you can say, yes, hatredful mind is there. Then delusional mind, it's very hard to do. Don't think much about the delusional mind at beginning. Just for mindful of those two mind states, one of the hateful, one of the desirable or lustful mind. That is the stronger thing to identify. So once you do, you can go further. Then, like couple of 2 or 3 days, see everything what you do, every sensation arrives, try to identify. Because of this feeling, what kind of mind I'm having today? Because of this feeling, I'm what kind of mind? Like uh, if you're cleaning, so while cleaning, if someone has done something in that moment, okay, how you feel, what kind of my mental state arises, same thing doing again and again and again and again. Oh, it's very hard for me. That kind of thing. So you can see that you are writing something, and you feel your hand is a little bit numb, or your mind is distracted. So with what you have mind distracted, you can identify that. And then you can say, yes, my mind is this. Then slowly transform when you're sitting down for meditation. Like when we start today meditating, what we say that be mindful where you are sitting in this moment. Then be mindful that you are among with your friends. And we're going to practice loving kindness meditation. So in these three thoughts, we can cover the rest of the meditation, rest of the mind. Like when you're sitting down, you're not feeling comfortable. You're feeling a little bit sleepy, drowsy, Some of the time when you wake up, and we early in the morning, some people do the morning meditation, and they wake up and they sit down on their bed and do. So some of the time their mind is refreshed, but most of time it's not. Then what you will do? Be mindful. My mind is not free this moment. I'm bothering with sleepiness, drowsiness. So I should do something else. So understanding the state of mind, you can do like in a one day, the Supreme Mukulan Bhante was practicing the meditation, and his mind was continuously hammering with the sleepiness. You know, he was unable to concentrate. Then what he did, he listened from Supreme Buddha, and then he said, if I'm not doing, he's trying to make back straight to overcome from that feel, overcome from that state of mind. Because sleepiness, it comes because of mind. It does not come because of tiredness of body all the time. Very rarely happen. You take the rest at night and morning time it's still having, it's not because of body. How you feeling in that moment? It's something like any festival day. Every day you wake up at 7 o'clock. But in any festival like Christmas is going to come, how do people feel? All in the morning they wake up more refreshed, doing so many things, something like this. So their mind is running fast. That time they don't feel sleepy. That I'm saying, so whenever the enjoyable moment, when you how you feel in your birthday, early in the morning you feel good. You don't feel sleepy. Oh, my birthday is today. Let me sleep more now. You like to take the wishes from others, that feeling. So it comes the sleepiness is also part of your mind. That so the Mughal Mante what he did, he makes one back straight, and then he open his eyes, drink waters to get rid of that state of mind. Then he was unable to do that. He started to stand up in the position what the meditation is doing. Then he started to do walking meditation. This kind of different techniques he used to deal with the mind. That we have to understand. That what kind of state of mind I am having in this moment while practicing meditation. And you will see within a couple of days, your mindfulness or your meditation is improving because of understanding of mind. Then vikitang vachitam. Some of the time, continuously your mind is running. You're trying to do, may I be free from anger? And, oh, I did not submit that form. It's there. That thought will arise. What I am going to prepare for lunch today, that thought arises. No, I haven't called that one person. Usually this happens when you do breathing meditation. This kind of thoughts arise when you do breathing. Oh, I want to meet. Oh, his birthday is today. Let me wish him. Something that comes, Or for Linda, oh, what is the Kevin doing today? He haven't called in this week, or he hasn't talked. Something like that. Such a things arise in mind when you do meditation. So that time you can say, I am having vikitang chittang. It's not concentrated. It's wandering your mind. It's not staying in one place, distracted. This moment I'm having distracted mind.
Swaminathan, so about the vikitang chittang.
Yes.
Vikitang chittang is vikshipta citta.
Yes.
Vikshipta, no, Swaminathan? It's restlessness.
Restlessness. So the restlessness is about thoughts, like you are unable to concentrate and your mind is traveling, wandering from one thought to another from another. And there is no chain, there is no beginning, nothing ending. So the continuously, without staying in one place or looking at, it travels in different places. Like it begins with thoughts like I said, oh, I want to call, I have to do these things. So this mind is stopping you from doing meditation to traveling somewhere else. And then with that one thought, the chain of thoughts will arise. And then that time you can call, I am having vikitang chittang.
It's so the basis would be delusion, right?
Yes, the basis of delusion, yes.
This
Yes,
basis will be delusion. And actually, anytime you have like your initial experience, and if you're going for secondary and next layers of
but
in the
it
thought
is
structure.
of yes, but it's not only just happened because of the delusion.
Delusion, yes,
Can
it could be the other
happen.
two
It can
also.
happen for desire also,
It could
and
be
for the
desire, or
hatred
it
also.
could, yes.
Yes. Like how it happened with the hatred. Like today, if someone said something to you, okay, you remember all the people who
All the
has said things to you. So it's not delusion in that moment. It is because of
yes,
hate, lustful thoughts on desirable things, all the things. Oh, the magnificent feast I had that time. I ate beautiful, delicious food, you know. So we compare that all the things, and the chain is continuously running. We try to remember the hotel name, we try to remember that where it was, with whom. These are all, so it stops you from concentrating. Is it's this that state of mind stops you from what you're doing in this moment. So that's why it said vikitang chittanti pajanati. But means like usually day-to-day life, it doesn't bother to us, because if you're doing working, like you're doing official work, so you're typing in that moment, you're reading something and you're typing, or if you're cooking in that moment, so it has a less time to drag you for somewhere else. But when you sit down and close your eyes, that entire moment, your mind try to stop you from doing that. So that mind use these tricks. So you have to be aware. This is a
Samingan sir.
yeah.
Samingan sir, why did you very specifically said this, like the Vikitan Chittan comes during meditation? It could be during normal life also.
Yes, but that one during our normal lives, that
Uh-huh.
one usually happen with a desire and lust, feeling, or delusion. Also, it does not affect in the way like as it is work when you are practicing meditation. Like even that means meditating is meditating. It means it does not have to sit down and think about particular thing. Meditating, it means when you isolate your mind from worldly things, like when you are doing means uh, some of the time when you are driving, you try to concentrate your mind. It's a particular object, but in that moment also the distraction can come. This kind of restlessness can come. It does not have to close eyes and sitting down to do the Buddhist meditation like Buddha has mentioned. No, any time when your mind has a spare time, but you're trying to concentrate regarding anything, like in study also, when you're studying, you go to school, or and that moment, what you're doing, you're concentrating on particular study, and your restlessness will not stop you, does not give chance to see what the teacher is teaching. Your mind is wandering somewhere else, and within a couple of minutes seconds gap, oh, what the teacher said, something like this happens. So you zoom up, you zoom out somewhere and then come back. That restlessness, so that is also happening when you're trying to concentrate on particular thing or object. I'm not saying only for the uh, for foundation of mindfulness.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
saying
sir.
whenever you're trying to concentrate, in
Yes.
that moment it does. Like if you want to write something, like you want to write the grocery list to go for the shop. Usually, no one does that grocery list anymore. Everyone goes to the mall, and then what they look, oh, I'm looking at these things, and they buy. Oh, I will need this, I will need that, something like that. Earlier time, you write down everything. Oh, I want this thing, this things, and then you go to the shop and then you purchase it. Not anymore. But so when you're writing down this one, I need, all the thoughts comes. Okay, I did last time this, and your list stops there. It doesn't go further. That I'm saying. Even that is also kind of way to concentrate. So restlessness arises in that moment, but it is more stronger when you try to do it with the closed eyes. And for that moment, it is more easier to identify and work on it.
Okay, Swaminathan, got it. Swaminathan,
So,
Anuttaran Chittam. Swaminathan,
hmm,
Anuttaram, the meaning of
yeah,
Anuttaran Chittam?
Anuttarang
I
Chittang, it
think I
means,
missed it.
yeah,
But
Anuttarang Chittang, it means when you are doing meditation and your mind is leaning toward meditation. It does not have the restlessness, remorse. There is no five hindrances. It's not obstacles. Your mind is now motivating toward it. And it's giving you, okay, loving kindness. If sometimes your loving kindness meditation, beautiful, without any stop, without any distraction, you feel. And when you say, may I be free from anger, you feel that you are not angry. You feel that this is, when you spreading the compassion toward it, you feel that yes, this flow of compassion toward word is flowing through you. It's not exactly, you cannot see the flow of the loving kindness, but you feel that yes, the flow is there. So it's not the concentrated state yet, but your mind is promoting you to do that. So your mind has come to that state when it is supporting to do the meditation, give support. That called Anuttarang Chitta. Anuttarang, it means motivating your mind toward greater things. Once you have the Anuttarang Chittang, then you will have you will start to have the concentrated mind completely. Then the samadhi will arise from there. So the initiation of the meditation for the Anuttarang Chitta, it will stop you from the distraction and that.
Swaminathan,
Yes.
so there are those chittas having some sequence. Looks like there's a sequence, like Anuttarang
Uh,
and then probably Sauttarang and then maybe Samahitang and then Mahagata.
yes. So why at the earlier time I said mostly for lust, hatred, and delusion. This is because of the continuous five sense faculties, what it works. You see because of that. But when you sit down for meditation, you always likes to have the progress. So it is a progressive or it's not. You can identify that. So this gradually goes further. Like when you have the Anuttarang Chitta, automatically it promotes you to have the concentrated mind. When you have the concentrated mind, it 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 gives you chance to walk toward liberated mind. So that is all connected, but it happens with the different stages. It does not have. Some of the time people feel that I have concentrated mind, but they are not. They are just having anuttarang mind. It's motivating. Sometimes you say, oh, I had a beautiful, marvelous meditation. Everything was supporting. That is not concentrated yet. It is anuttarang because your mind has give chance. The mind is feeling happy, happier, and promoting toward meditation. But when the state comes, there is completely stillness of mind. Yes, stopped everything, having that peaceful fine for moment for longer time than second. That is called concentrated completely. So you can say that. So the progress is there, you know. So you have to be mindful on that. Whatever I am doing in this moment, how whatever the my mind is telling, looking at that, it is says contemplating mind as the mind. Okay, so don't go with the flow that I am having an Uttaran Chitta. Let me travel for the mindfulness. No, once you have that thought, it means you have come back to the back state. So just being mindful, I am having that. Like I said about feelings. This is feeling, I am feeling this moment. Now When you have the feeling of what kind of feeling you have, based on that feeling, what kind of mind you have developed, be mindful of that. That's all. Because once you take the time to understand the state of mind, it will be easier for you to see the Dhamma in Dhammanupassana. Because Satipatthana, the completely mindfulness of body, mindfulness of feeling, and mindfulness of mind, when they work together, then the Dhammanupassana happens. Okay? Then the Dhammanupassana happens. But if you connect them easily, when you mix them immediately, it will be difficult for us to find Dhammanupassana in that moment. So take time to isolate the Kayanupassana, Vedananupassana, and Chittanupassana. Connectivity is there because of body, feeling arise. Because of feeling, mind arise. Because of mind, the phenomena of the continuous cycle and journey arise. But you have to see the body as a body. If you look the body and immediately feel the feelings and combine them immediately, the deciphering them or separating them will be difficult. So that's why I'm saying take slow steps, because rushing toward meditation is not the solution. Means someone says, immediately I want to finish this. It never happens. It will stop you from further things. Taking time to slowly, one by one, or taking time to do the meditation with the proper manner, it is the best way to do it. And that, so when we do the Dhammanupassana, then you will see how this mind is relating, how this mind is now creating based on this mind, how it is attaching, how it is rushing behind this body and feeling, we can see in Dhammanupassana. So simply understanding the state of mind, what I am having in this moment, that is called Chittanupassana. So the gradually means every day, this day-to-day moment, try to identify, try to be mindful of the desirable mind, hatredful mind. If it is possible, delusional mind means when is nothing is useful and your mind is just circling around in particular things, attaching, yes, this is me, this is mine, this is myself, or the craving with that, that is you can call delusional mind. Such a state you have, be mindful. Yes, delusional mind I'm having, lustful mind I'm having, hatredful mind I'm having. Then, whenever you try to concentrate, try to identify this. Restlessness, it can be come in any places, but when you do mindfulness in that moment, it is more easier to identify. So don't hate or don't develop regret about when you're doing meditation and you are having restlessness mind. No. When even you feel sleepiness, just say, yes, while doing this moment, I'm feeling sleepiness, a little bit lazy. And that's all. Okay. If you talk, oh, all the time when I'm doing meditation, this sleep comes to me like that, it will be hateful thing. Hatredful mind will be there. So being mindful of your mind, that is a Chittanupassana. So once you understand how to be mindful of your mind, then you will see the Dhammanupassana how it will affect. Because the rest of the Dhammanupassana is connected inside. Because uh, all the three compounds like the eyes, that forms when it comes together with the consciousness of the feeling, then mind, and then how a desire continues for it. That will you see in Dhammanupassana. For that, you have to understand this as a separate thing. Chittanupassana, the state of mind. If you don't understand separately, it will be difficult for you to do Dhammanupassana because it gives more process and it is very fast thing to do. Like any picture, the motion picture has. So you have seen the reel, the small pictures are there. When it runs very fast, you see the one singular picture motion. But this is not one thing. The sound is have a different strip. There is the sound is recorded in one different thing. The pictures has a different color, and has a particular point. Then there is a short cuttings also there. This thing is you have to see one by one. Then you run fast so you can see together. That is the manifestation. So try to do in this week. Just see how your mind is saying to you. Don't rush behind that whatever is leading toward. Just be mindful. Today I am on this moment. My mind is feeling like this, and that's all. That's all. So once you do like feelings, I'm having this feeling because you were doing the same thing. I'm also trying to do that same thing. Okay. Yeah. I'm giving a task to you, and I was also doing that. And I see, yes, I don't usually pay this much attention toward these feelings. I just move on, I rush toward, okay, oh, this feeling, and then I rush towards something else. But I remember, I told them to see feeling as it just stop there. I did, and now some of the time, I have a little bit more clear picture about feeling. Little bit, not much. It takes time to do that. A little bit more thing. So I'm saying that how I feel, you also can do that same thing. Little bit clear that feelings are like this. Now, based on that feeling, don't drag this feeling to your mind. Based on that feeling, what kind of mind is arising, try to do that much. That, okay, this moment, this mind is there based on this feeling. Then we will see in the next class how the how the Dhammanupassana reacts and works. Okay? When you deal with the mind, it's really always a little bit complicated. You cannot see indirect thing, so understanding it becomes a little bit hard. But with the association, with the continuous conversation of it, we can progress in that. Okay, so that's all for today. Any questions you have, you can ask.
Yes, Bante, sorry, Bante. Two questions, Bante. One very quickly, Bante, because at the end of each of the Nupassana, there's some phrase saying you have to contemplate when after you are mindful, let's say for the body or the feeling, then you have to contemplate feeling inside you,
Inside
feeling
and
outside. Yeah, and then both. That means, in general. But then after that, there is samudaya Dhamma and then Vaya Dhamma. So my
Yes.
understanding, Bante, before we go to Dhamma Nupassana, let's say we talk about the feeling, the Samudaya Dhamma or the arising of the feeling, when we see it, we don't need to really think of, oh, okay, feelings happen because of contact. Contact is because of the meeting of three things. We don't need to contemplate that. I just want to confirm with one thing. We
Yeah.
just
Yes. So Samudaya Dhamma and Upasana. Samudaya, it means it arised. Yeah. And Vaya Dhamma, it means finishing it. Okay. So I'm not saying to see that. I'm saying like based on this. It's not to dragging these feelings toward that. It's not that. From the beginning, it happens like we all have Dhammanupassana continuously in day-to-day life. We do have. Just we don't understand. When you do the mindfulness also, that time also you have to see in the same way. Iti ajjattang va chittang, chitta chittanupasati. Ajjattang, it means inside. Bahiddang va chittang. Even for the outside things, you have to see. Samudaya dhammanupastiva, chittasmingti viharati. Vaidhammanupastiva, chittasmingti viharati. It means when you are having this lustful mind, so it does not arise at one single moment. It arised, so the samudaya, it means coming, appearing in your life. In that moment, appearing in your life, that mind. So you can say that this moment, this hatredful thought or hatredful mind appeared. It is in my mind. So it does not come automatically. It comes there. So the samudaya. Vayadhammanapasima, it means finishing. The anger, it's not stays there for longer time. Like someone say directly bad word to you, you will get angry in that moment. But in the next moment, you will own drag it a little bit longer. He said this thing to me. This thing is there. But slowly, slowly, anger also subsides. It also dissolves. So the Vayadhammanapasima. So why means it's finishing it. That thought is not there. It also finished. You have to see that. So that's why it's a chittasming viharati. So appearing that thought in your mind and finishing that thought in your mind, that is called samudaya dhammanupassi, vaidhamma.
We don't really need to contemplate very deeply.
No. Just look at it.
Just
Be
knowing.
mindful. Just mindful. I am having this thought, this moment. That's all. If you try to go to see the entire chain of it, you will be, mixed up and you will just circling around and around, because mind never stops. Just give that. So see the bigger thing. This is there, and that's all.
Right. I also want to say thank you to
Yeah.
Bhante, because most of the time this week, I try to contemplate feeling. And Bhante, the next question is, can two feelings happen at the same time? Like one night I was lying on my bed and I contemplated a feeling. I thought my mind was wandering. It's not nice because, and I identified that as unpleasant feeling because I wanted to sleep, but my mind going on and on. But then I thought, oh, but my body is resting. So I feel pleasant in my body, but it's unpleasant here. So that's why I want to ask Bhante, can it happen like that? Two feelings, like, well, it was happening, but I don't know. Is it possible two feelings simultaneously happening, Bhante?
It does happen. It does happen sometime. But what the body was feeling, that was the feeling. But what mind was you're telling, it was restlessness. So directly you cannot say the feeling of body or feeling of mind is conflicting together. Your body is the feeling, or like it is based on the body, that how you feel, that eyes, ear, nose, tongue. These things gives a stronger thing of feeling. But with the mind, it is have a very slightest difference. Okay, so what you were doing in that moment, it always happens. So see that my body is peaceful, but my mind is restless. So two feelings you're saying, it can happen in that way. It's okay. It's okay. Some of the time we do work sometime. Two things at once, we do. Same thing, it can happen. But it's not together. It has a pause in between them. It has a pause in between these two feelings. Nothing is together, not even means, even like you are looking at me and listening at me same time, but it's not happening in same time. Once you're looking and listening, has a split second differences is there. So the two feelings also there, but has a little bit pause, but it's very smallest one.
But Bhante, we don't need to really being so critical to like analyze everything, because
no,
right?
later,
It's just knowing that, oh, my body is feeling pleasant, but my mind is wandering. Just knowing. But I think that's a very good thing too, but because it right away it brought me back to the present moment. Like, oh, my mind is wandering now, but my body feels pleasant. So it's very good. It turned into a mindfulness moment at that time, Bante, because then I was mindful right at the moment, right at the present time. Wamapim Bante, thank you.
That is the purpose of Satipatthana, to being aware of yourself. That is, and you're doing. That's really progress. That's good. Hopefully, everyone enjoys in that. Yes, Harry.
Thank you.
Um, I just want to add what Linda has is asking. It reminded me of psychology, psychotherapy.
Yes.
One of the things that psychotherapy technique, one of the techniques says that start with the mind. So what the mind thinks, the rational, then the feeling comes, then the action. So this is one of the theories. So that means if you think positive, then you will feel positive and you will act positively. That is really in the book. What we learned long time ago. So on the contrary, Buddha says the other way around. I guess saying that feelings, if there's feelings, then you have to be mindful, right? So the feelings start and then mind comes in. You have to be mindful. But the psychotherapy starts with the mind, then the feeling comes next and the action. Yeah, just a sharing.
And do you know what is the reason, Harry? Because
I'm sorry.
behind it, do you
I'm
know
sorry.
why I said about that?
Oh, it is one of the psychotherapy theories, and it was I remember very vividly that particular
Yes.
course.
The
So that
reason
says
is,
the mind is more important. Yeah,
yes,
that's
the
what it
reason
is.
is why they say that the mind, because sometimes the people are not feeling well.
Yeah,
To motivate them,
yeah, yeah.
use your mind that
Use the
you are
mind.
okay. Giving the false appearance, you are okay, and automatically we feel okay.
Yes, and then you will act
Because of
okay.
that, but that is not a true feeling, that is not a true awareness.
Mm-hmm.
It is us to lead, it is leading our side. Like when we do the breathing meditation, compared to that, sometimes we say breathe in, breathe out. So when we say breathe in, we start to breathe in. When we say breathe out, we start to breathe out. It should happen opposite of that. When we are breathing naturally, then we have to mindful. But when you forcefully say, okay, when you say the shorter breath in, most of the people, what they do, try to shorter their breath. Smaller breath, smaller breath. I want to take the smaller, because Bhante is saying is shorter breath in,
Literally,
shorter
yeah.
breath out. So that is leading you meditation. It's not mindfulness. Psychology does it because to make them aware of what kind of state your mind can give it to you. Means your mind can changes how you feel in this moment. Because of that they give, but it won't be the concentrated state. It won't be the what it called the development of mindfulness. It won't be that. Okay, so that's a good point that Harry identified, that it goes reverse inside, reverse way.
Thank
It's
you.
good. So that's all for today. Next week, we will learn the Manupasana. It's very huge chapter, but I will try to summarize smaller things, summarize it, and we will discuss a couple of main key points, and then how after the next week we will learn how this four foundation of mindfulness develops or becomes the part or effect on 37 factors of enlightenment.